All right, I was on with Dan Patrick yesterday, and he asked me which of the two quarterbacks I would pay a long-term big money contract to first, Dak Prescott or Jared Goff. You know how I feel about this. I went Prescott right away. What's your position on Prescott versus Goff?
I'm with you, Mike. I mean, if you make me choose who I'd rather have as my quarterback, I am choosing Dak Prescott. I mean, first of all, hey, let's just get into it. I mean, let's go, player versus player here. Okay, who's got better size? Dak Prescott. Who's a better athlete? Dak Prescott. Who's got a stronger arm? Very close. I probably would still go Dak Prescott. Who can make plays happen off schedule? Dak Prescott. So who can you design quarterback run game design plays for? Dak Prescott. So again, Jared Goff is a good football player. Don't get me wrong, and you can obviously win football games with him. But I think Dak Prescott is a more talented football player, and I think he's been in an offense with less creativity in the pass game too, to where the numbers might not look as sexy, but he's got to do a lot more in that offense in the pass game with just his pure ability and him making the plays, where Jared Goff, as you and I think we both agree, is served up a lot of easy completions because of Sean McVay's genius.
I mean, think about it. You flip Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. You put Goff with Jason Garrett and Prescott with Sean McVay.
Yeah.
That would be an intriguing chemistry experiment to see how that would work out. And the thing for me with Goff, and we've talked about this, at what point does a team say, no, we're not making you the highest paid player in NFL history. We're not giving you $35 million a year. We're just not doing it. I feel like Goff is one of the prime candidates to get that message when the time comes to sit down and negotiate a long-term deal, that the Rams aren't going to break the bank for Jared Goff, that they believe if they have to, they could go find somebody younger that McVay handpicks to run his system that can get it done as well as Jared Goff for a hell of a lot less money.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, I hear you. I don't know if I totally believe it, right? I'm with you in the fact that Jared Goff would be one of the prime candidates for me, for a guy that, doesn't get the big-time contract. I do think McVay and Les Snead are the type of guys that have the guts to make that type of decision also. So that leads me there. But then also I look at it and go, gosh, so the L.A. Rams, since Jared Goff has taken over, okay, they've gone to the playoffs twice. They went to the Super Bowl. He's a California kid. He went to Cal at college. I just feel like ultimately that the Rams will cave in this and give Jared Goff the money, but I have some of the same sentiments you do.
But this isn't Joe Namath, right? I mean, if you're going to factor in California factors, LA factors, Hollywood factors, Jared Goff doesn't have that in him.
No,
right?
He does not.
He's kind of a soft-spoken guy. Right. And he's not. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. And, this is like how the Raiders fans react when I say Derek Carr probably won't be there next year. I'm saying Goff is a guy who he's not bad. You just have to ask yourself, how much of a financial investment do you want to make? And I keep going back to that play in the second half of the Super Bowl when the Rams were waking up and Brandon Cooks was wide open and Goff didn't anticipate it, didn't see it. And when he finally saw it, he threw a ball that wasn't accurate enough to get to Cooks before Jason McCourty closed like a 25-yard gap in 2 seconds. So I just, that's the championship moment. I was talking about this on radio. You have very few moments like that where you can establish that you have the championship gene. And Goff had the chance and he failed, Chris. And to me, I don't want to wait for more of these opportunities to come to the conclusion that he doesn't have it. You either have it or you don't. And you had your chance to prove it and you failed. And sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I mean, to add to what you're saying, I mean, he had that same exact play earlier in the game. Same exact play, same exact coverage. And he didn't throw the ball up then. So yeah, it's a little concerning when you go, damn, here's the same play against the same coverage. And he didn't see it the second time in a row. And then when he did see it, his physical ability and his arm strength weren't good enough to make up for the fact that he was way late on it. And like you said, Jason McCourty, 30 yards away, had enough time to break on the ball and break it up. But yeah, that'll be the big question there, because Jared Goff, the stats, the numbers, the wins, they're going to all look pretty good. And that's going to lead, I think, to that California, what I'm just saying, that push where he's the franchise quarterback. Look at his quarterback rating. Look at his touchdown interception ratio. And I want to go, yeah, okay, that's cool. But gosh, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have played in L.A. the last few years who could have similar stats because, you know, it's not that difficult to throw the ball 4 yards to Todd Gurley and then he runs 70, or, you know, throw a guy wide open over the middle that Sean McVay game planned perfectly for. So those are the things they're going to have to figure out.
One last point on this, too. We're not privy to what conversations happened during that 30-minute halftime or while Sean McVay was talking to Jared Goff as he was calling that play. But as you pointed out, they ran that play earlier in the game, and Cooks was wide open, and Goff didn't see it. Now, let's apply basic logic and common sense here. Do we think that at some point it was communicated to Goff, we're going to run that again, and Cooks is the guy to look for? And if that's what was said to Goff, and he blew it the second time, that's when you have to start thinking as Sean McVay, is this really the guy that I want to hitch my wagon to for the next 10 years?
Yeah, valid point. Yeah, at the very least, yeah, you're right. What would concern me there was man, he didn't even process what we said the first time around. Was this game too big? Was the moment too big?
Out. It's
right,
yeah,
exactly.
That's right. His head's spinning. It's the Super Bowl. They're talking to him, but he's just going,
Yeah, right.
I mean,
so,
that's normal.
Yeah.
And not everyone can rise to that moment. But when you show me you can't rise to that moment, I start maybe thinking, is there somebody else out there who can?
Yeah, I hear you, Mike. It's a valid question. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.